Welcome to my Conversations with AI. In our previous episode, we explored whether we can control every thought, examining the conflict between the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex, along with the wisdom of mastering the mind. Today we focus on action. Building on our essay, Training the Inner Executive, we will discuss how to enhance the part of the brain responsible for focus, reflection and decision-making amid distractions. We shared the essay with our colleagues at Google NotebookLM, who generated a meaningful discussion connecting neuroscience, spiritual practices, and everyday habits. This episode provides tools to help you regain your attention, strengthen your will, and take charge of your mind, whether you approach it from a faith-based, scientific, or curious perspective. Let's begin.
Do you ever feel like your attention is just pulled everywhere?
Oh, constantly.
Right. You're overwhelmed by notifications, maybe jumping between apps, or you just react, without thinking and then regret it later.
Mm-hmm.
You're definitely not alone. Today, we're going to dive deep into why that happens and, maybe more importantly, how you can build some real resilience against it.
Yeah, reclaiming a really vital part of your mind, the part that, helps you focus, control those impulses, stay calm.
Even when things are totally chaotic. Exactly.
And our sources, including this really insightful essay called Training the Inner Executive, they paint a pretty clear picture. The key, it seems, is strengthening the specific part of your brain.
Yeah.
Let's call it your inner executive.
Okay, inner executive. I like that.
Yeah, and think of it less as something fixed, and more like a muscle, something you can actually train and develop, which lets you navigate, everything modern life throws at you with more intention instead of just bouncing around reacting.
So this isn't just about, having more willpower then.
Right.
It's actual brain training.
Precisely.
That's great news, because honestly, it often feels like life today is just, an assault on that part of the brain.
It can feel that way, but the exciting part is this thing called neuroplasticity.
Right, the brain changing.
Exactly. Your brain's amazing ability to change and adapt, throughout your entire life. So this decline, it's not inevitable. You can train it.
Okay, so that's our mission for this deep dive then. Pull out the most important bits from the sources, kind of a shortcut, to show you exactly how to strengthen this inner executive and, get back some control.
So you can be that focused, intentional person you actually want to be.
Okay, let's go back the curtain then. This inner executive idea.
Yeah.
The CEO of the mind. What part of the brain are we actually talking about here? What's its job?
Right. So deep within your forehead, there's this remarkable bit of brain tissue, the prefrontal cortex.
Prefrontal cortex, got it.
That's your inner executive. It's basically headquarters for everything that makes you, you in a considered way.
Okay.
Complex decisions, self-control, planning for the future, empathy, even moral reasoning. It's the part that lets you, say, resist that third cookie.
Yeah, I need that part strengthened.
Or, plan your career, or crucially, just pause and think before reacting.
That pause, that's key.
It really is. It allows you to become who you want to be rather than just who you sort of feel like being in the heat of the moment.
Okay, so if the prefrontal cortex is the planner, the CEO, what's the part that just jumps in? The reactive part? Like when you just snap back at someone?
You're hitting on the amygdala.
Amygdala.
Often called the brain's fear or emotion center. It's super reactive, fast, primal, absolutely vital for, alerting us to immediate danger, fight or flight.
Right, survival stuff.
Essential for survival, yeah. But here's the interesting bit, and what's key for modern life. Its dominance today leads us down paths of impulsivity, anxiety. We get easily manipulated when it's running the show.
Okay, so it's really about who's driving the bus, right?
That's a perfect analogy. Is it the amygdala, the quick reacting alarm? Or the prefrontal cortex, the thoughtful, strategic leader? When the PFC is in charge, you can pause, reflect, choose.
It definitely feels like the alarm system has the wheel a lot these days. You mentioned our sources call modern life an assault on the PFC. Can you break that down? What does that look like day to day, and why is it so bad for us?
Yeah, absolutely. Just think about, your typical day. Your phone is constantly pinging.
Constantly.
Social media algorithms are literally designed to grab and hold your attention. Stress levels, often chronically high.
Tell me about it.
We try to multitask, we doom scroll through bad news, we binge watch shows, we just react instantly to emails or messages.
Guilty.
Each of these things, basically, it feeds that reactive amygdala, and crucially, it starves the executive functions, those higher level thinking bits in the PFC.
So, okay, what happens then? What are the consequences we actually feel when our inner executive gets weak?
Well, your ability to focus tanks.
Yeah.
You become more emotionally reactive. Impulse control weakens. It's like mental muscles, right? If you don't use them, they atrophy.
That makes sense.
And here's a really important point from the sources. This isn't just us. The systems around us, they actually kind of profit from this.
How so?
Well, a distracted mind is easier to influence, right? Easier to sell things to, easier to keep scrolling or clicking online.
Wow. Okay.
Which raises this big question. Are we just victims here? Or do we actually have the power, the agency to reclaim our focus?
That is a powerful question. And I guess this is where it gets really interesting. Because the good news, as you said, is our brains can adapt.
Exactly. Neuroplasticity.
Yeah.
Your brain stays changeable your whole life. It's not just a cool science fact. It's like profoundly hopeful.
Yeah.
Every single time you pause instead of reacting. Every time you choose focus over distraction. Every time you take a calm breath instead of yelling.
You're actually doing something in your brain.
You are actively engaging and strengthening your prefrontal cortex. You're literally rewiring things.
And like building muscle at the gym, the key isn't like being perfect, right?
Right.
It's consistency.
That's it, exactly. It's not about becoming a monk overnight or needing a PhD in neuroscience.
Okay.
Physical strength builds with regular exercise. Mental strength grows with intentional practice. The goal is training, not perfection.
Training, not perfection. I like that.
It's about a daily, maybe even hourly return to awareness, intention. Self-leadership. You just need a willingness to notice your patterns, choose differently, maybe just slightly differently, and commit to practices that build that inner strength. It's surprisingly accessible.
What's really fascinating is that, modern neuroscience is confirming all this, but ancient wisdom traditions, they kind of knew this already, didn't they?
They absolutely did. Spiritual disciplines across so many cultures were understood as powerful ways to shape your inner life. And it turns out, they're fantastic mind training.
Like what, for example?
Well, take meditation or focused prayer. When you do that, you're not just being spiritual in some vague way. You're actively firing up and strengthening the brain circuits for attention and emotional regulation.
Okay.
These practices literally quiet down that reactive amygdala.
The alarm system.
Right. And they light up the prefrontal cortex. They help build presence, help you stay grounded, even when things are stressful. It's a direct neurological effect you can see on scans.
What about something like scripture memorization or mantra repetition?
Great examples. Those require sustained attention, don't they?
Yeah, definitely.
So they reinforce neural pathways for focus, for self-mastery. They often guide moral reflection, too, which engages the PFC.
And the idea of Sabbath or just intentional silence, that's more than just taking a day off, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's not just about resting your body. It's a deliberate mental reset, a pause from the constant barrage of information.
Like defragging your brain's hard drive.
Exactly. It lets those executive functions recover, recalibrate. It restores clarity, calm. Think about gratitude practices, too, or confession.
How do they fit in?
Gratitude reframes your experience, right? It strengthens positive attention, optimism, things linked to robust PFC activity. Confession involves honest self-reflection, emotional release, again, engaging reflective circuits rather than reactive ones.
All these different practices, from meditation to silence to gratitude,
they share a common purpose, really. They train our attention, shape character, align our inner life with, higher values. They keep that inner executive awake, alert, and in charge.
Okay, so ancient wisdom has these powerful tools. What about more maybe secular science-backed habits? Things anyone can use, regardless of belief.
Yeah, definitely. Mindfulness and breathwork are huge here.
We hear a lot about mindfulness.
And for good reason. It's not just trendy. It anchors your attention right here, right now. Simple breath techniques like box breathing.
In for 4, hold for 4.
Exactly. Or the 4-7-8 method. These can quickly lower stress hormones and re-engage your prefrontal cortex. Mindfulness itself builds that ability to just notice your thoughts without getting swept away by them.
Giving your executive space to choose.
Precisely. And the impact is so clear that, as you mentioned, even groups like the military are using it.
Right. The Marines. That's pretty compelling. Tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, the U.S. Marine Corps, they developed this program, Mindfulness-Based Mind Fitness Training, MMFT, for infantry platoons facing extreme stress.
Wow.
The goal was to boost attention, emotional regulation, resilience, and studies showed it worked. Marines who practice mindfulness regularly maintain their focus and working memory under intense simulated combat stress.
While others didn't.
While control groups saw significant declines, it just shows how powerful this training can be when the stakes are incredibly high. Attention can literally be life or death for them.
Okay, so mindfulness, breathwork. What else is in the toolkit? You mentioned cognitive reappraisal earlier. Sounds technical.
It sounds fancy, but it's actually something we can all do. It's basically consciously reframing a situation to change how it affects you emotionally.
Like seeing a mistake as a learning opportunity.
Exactly like that. Instead of beating yourself up, you recruit your PFC to find the lesson, to regulate the emotional sting. You're using your executive function to make meaning and manage your feelings. It's a mental superpower, really.
And then there's the big one, our digital lives. How does digital hygiene help the inner executive?
Ah, yes. Creating boundaries with tech isn't just about less distraction. It actively calms down that constantly on alert amygdala.
Takes your foot off the gas.
Good way to put it. Turning off notifications, scheduling screen-free time, maybe even uninstalling the apps that feel truly addictive.
Hard but necessary sometimes.
It reduces the constant overstimulation. It protects your attention span, gives your PFC room to breathe and do its job.
What about things like setting goals or tracking habits?
Definitely helpful. Those activities directly engage the planning and monitoring circuits in the prefrontal cortex. They reinforce executive control and help reduce impulsivity by keeping your desired future state in mind.
And journaling, does that fit in?
Absolutely. Journaling helps you process and regulate thoughts and emotions. It creates a bit of distance from that reactive mind, making space for more reflective, PFC-driven thought.
So for all these tools, mindfulness, reappraisal, digital hygiene, goals, journaling, the key message seems to be consistency again, right? Rhythm.
Exactly. Practiced regularly, not perfectly. They forge a kind of daily rhythm that strengthens attention, builds emotional resilience, and reinforces that self-control that ultimately leads to feeling more intentional and, frankly, more free.
Now, something we can't ignore is the body. You said earlier, the brain isn't just floating in a jar.
So true. It's embedded in a body. And how we care for that body has a huge impact on how well the prefrontal cortex works.
Okay, so if you want that mental clarity, that emotional balance, your physical habits really matter.
Yeah, profoundly. Take sleep. Sleep deprivation impairs the prefrontal cortex probably more than any other single factor.
Wow, more than anything.
Pretty much. Just one bad night significantly cuts your focus, increases impulsivity, messes with emotional regulation. Prioritizing consistent, good quality sleep may be the single most effective thing you can do for your executive function.
I know, I feel that difference immediately after a bad night.
We all do. It shows up right away in frustration levels, ability to stick with hard tasks.
And exercise. We know it's good, but how does it specifically help the inner executive?
Well, it boosts blood flow to the brain, which is crucial. It enhances neurogenesis, the growth of new brain cells, improves mood. Aerobic exercise specifically seems really good for cognitive flexibility.
Like switching tasks easily.
Yeah, adapting when plans change. And working memory, holding information in your mind. Core PFC skills.
Okay, and nutrition, obvious maybe, but what's the brain-food connection here?
Super important. Diets high in sugar and processed stuff, they actually impair cognitive performance.
Yeah.
Whereas diets rich in nutrients, healthy fats like omega-3s, antioxidants from fruits and vegetables, whole foods, they actively support brain health. And don't forget hydration.
Same.
Even being slightly dehydrated can mess with your focus.
Simple, but easy to forget.
Ooh.
What about our environment? You know, like a messy desk. Does that really affect our brain's CEO?
It really does seem to. Clutter, noise, constant interruptions, they trigger a low-level stress response and tax your executive control.
Makes sense.
Whereas a clean, quiet, organized space tends to support calm, sustained attention. Even small things help phone in another room while you work, noise-canceling headphones. It reduces the competition for your PFC's limited resources.
Are there any specific micronutrients that the sources point to for, like, extra mental strength?
Yeah, a few come up consistently. Vitamin D is one. Many people are low in it, and it's vital for mood, PFC health, neurotransmitter function. It reduces brain inflammation, helps clarity.
Okay, vitamin D. What else?
Omega-3 fatty acids, EPA and DHA, mainly from fatty fish or algae oil. They're part of the actual structure of brain cells in the PFC, reduce inflammation, help with flexibility, impulse control, emotional resilience.
Omega-3s, got it.
And, maybe surprisingly, trace amounts of lithium. Not the medication, but tiny amounts found naturally in some water sources. It's associated with better emotional regulation, less impulsivity, even increased gray matter in the PFC.
Interesting. So just trace amounts, though.
Exactly. Consistent trace exposure.
So if we tie this all together, real mental mastery isn't just thinking differently. It's how you care for your whole self.
That's the big picture, yeah. When your physical life aligns with your mental and maybe spiritual goals, you just make it easier for your inner executive to lead. Your body becomes an ally, not an obstacle.
So wrapping this up, strengthening your prefrontal cortex, your inner executive. It's not really about becoming perfect, is it?
No, not at all. It's about becoming present. More aware, waking up to the fact that you can shape your thoughts, your choices, your attention. You're not just a passenger in your mind, you can be the pilot.
But the world isn't going to make it easy.
Definitely not. The world will keep pulling at your focus, triggering reactivity, trying to erode that intentionality. It's a constant current pushing against you.
But inside us, we have this capacity to train something stronger, that inner executive.
Whether it's through mindfulness or silence or better sleep or journaling, the path isn't some big secret. It's built one practice, one choice at a time.
And as you train consistently, you start to reclaim things, your attention, your emotions, your sense of purpose.
Yeah, and our source material had some really great lines on this, like, you don't need more time, you need more alignment.
Ooh, I like that. And you don't need to be harder on yourself. You need to be more consistent.
Yes, and maybe most importantly, you don't need to do it alone. You need to begin.
So start. That's the message. Choose one thing, one habit, build it. Strengthen that part of you that chooses. Let your inner executive rise.
Yeah.
So as you go about your day-to-day, maybe think, what's one tiny shift, just one small thing you can do right now to give your inner executive a little bit of a boost?
Thank you for listening to my conversations with AI. We hope this episode gave you something to think about and, more importantly, something to practice. Strengthening the prefrontal cortex isn't a once-off insight, it's a daily choice, whether through mindfulness, spiritual discipline, or simply getting better sleep. Every small habit is a vote for the kind of person you want to become. If you found this conversation helpful, we'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment, share the episode, and check out our earlier discussions, including Hold Captive Every Thought, if you missed it. And of course, stay tuned. We are already working on the next step in the journey. Until then, be well and let your inner executive rise.